And God said, you know what, Mark? That's just like your life. I'm going to teach you about being tangled. Is your life tangled? Had a young lady come up here, been going to this church a long time. She don't come much. She has a lot of personal issues. She was praying. She looked at me and Mark, I prayed for her, and she said, Mark, I don't know what I'm going to do. I said, all of our lives are tangled. Every one of us has got a tangled life. And she said, I don't know how to keep from getting my life tangled. I said, you can't. And I told her the story about the two little boys. They each had a rod and reel, and they couldn't fish more than 15 seconds without messing the line up. And I would fix it. I was sitting on a bench behind them. They couldn't walk from me to Melissa, and their lines were messed up again. And I asked this question, which I probably shouldn't have asked them. Are y'all trying to mess your line up? Are you not listening? I said, if I took that rod and reel myself and I done this, I couldn't do a better job messing it up than you are. That's how people look at you when your life's messed up. They think you're intentionally messing it up. And you know what? A frown came on both the boys' face. I said, God, I messed up. I shouldn't have said that. I had no right to say that. Because when I look at my life, it's as messed up as any of those two boys' lines are right now. Well, God said, fix it, Mark. And I fixed it. It wasn't a few seconds later, I put a cricket on the back. They tried to throw it out, they crossed the lines. And they messed up by crossing their lines. It's tangled again. And I'm going to go on the lesson. I'll finish this in just a minute. We all live in a big mess. Sister Jane, you got problems? None? Yeah. All right. Josh, you got any problems? Anybody here don't have a problem this morning? Well, thank goodness you now I know you're all honest. We all have problems. We all live in big messes. Some of us hide it more than others. CJ, I don't know the young lady sitting beside you. I know she's got a problem. You're with her. But I said that for a purpose. If we don't have a problem, we got somebody else that's causing us problems. Because even if your life is straight and great, theirs isn't. And if you love and care about them, you carry their problems just like you carry yours. And if you're not carrying their problems, you're not a Christian. Because it said that's your brother. And to love them like a brother. The big mess. There's the first lie Satan tells everybody is in a big mess. No one really knows and no one cares. Whew. I do it. Quote Mark Caneham, nobody loves me. Shake your head, Barra. I say that every day. Nobody really loves me. They only love me for what I do for them. If I quit doing things for them, they'll go away. Anybody believe that? Sometimes you really think that if you didn't make the money, take care of the house, fix the car, buy them what they want, give them a swimming pool in the backyard. I tell my grandchildren all the time, y'all love me because I got a swimming pool. Because when I tell them they can't get in it, they don't like me much. So I take that away. So if God takes something away from you that you truly think you need, you tell him you don't love me? Now, why do I take the swimming pool away sometimes? Because that's all they want to do. God has more compassion and knowing than you realize. Psalms 56 and 8. Thou tellest me my wanderings. This is God's talking. And put thou my tears into the bottle. Are they not in the book? God not only counts my tears. We talked about him counting the hairs on your head. He numbers your tears and puts them in a bottle. Now, there is different sizes of mason jars. Will you agree? And some of us have more problems than others. But God don't ever get tired of checking on you and what kind of situation you're in. That's his business. If I walked in and seen Bailey crying, first thing I'm going to do is, Bailey, what's wrong? When God sees you drop that first tear, even if nobody else cares and nobody else notices, he's catching that tear. He loves you that much. Now, sometimes I get tired of hearing you whine and cry. Whew. I've got 9 grandkids. One of them complains a lot. I'm not going to call a name, but one of them complains a lot, and everything tears them up. And they'll cry and throw a fit. And sometimes I get tired of dealing with it. God never gets tired of my tears. Now, when we're crying tears to get attention, that's one thing. When you're crying tears because you're hurt, God's watching. Will I go too far? Yeah. Your situation did not take God by surprise. I don't like getting blindsided. I don't like things happening in my life that I'm not prepared for. You lose a loved one. You get sick. You got doctor bills you can't pay. You lose your job. You get your hours cut. Now I'm going to tell my story. I walked in 2 Mondays ago and got an email. We're cutting your job. Budget cuts across the state of Tennessee, every county. I lost $15,000 a year in one day. How did that make you feel? I didn't jump up and down with joy. I didn't say, thank you, God. I said, oh, Lord, why me? And I complained all day. Don't they know how hard I work? I've been loyal for 11 years, and they're just going to cut my throat like that and don't care how I bleed? We do God like that. God, you don't care about me. Why you let it happen for? All right? Just because it caught me off guard doesn't mean God was clueless. He knew what was coming, and he had a remedy for it. He already seen down the road. Tuesday, I go to White County Jail. The warden calls me, Warden Randolph. Captain, I guess you call him. Mark, we've had other jails call and say, we're going to be losing a lot of our teachers because budget cuts across Tennessee. Is that affecting you? I said, all I can tell you, it said come September, we had funds to get us through September. Come September, we weren't guaranteed anything. He said, well, I'm going to make you an offer. What? Always interested in an offer. God will make you an offer. If he takes away one thing, he'll give you another way. Just because it's a different way, and you may not like that way, but you know, he knows the way better than you do. Yes. Just because you've been traveling down a road half your life, and you think it's the grandest thing in the world, there's better out there. Now, we've gave up 73 days, I think, today. 74. Today's 13th, I think 74. 74 days of no Coke Zeros. I thought that was the best way to me quench my thirst ever. Been doing that for years now. Been water since then. Milk with my meals. You know my kidneys are functioning better. I don't get up 4 or 5 times, go to the restroom every night. God showed me a better way even though I didn't like it. Now here's my problem. In 90 days is up, I'm probably going to drink a Coke Zero. I'm going to go right back to what gives me trouble. He said, Mark, would you let us pay you for your hours over here if they can't do it? I assume I would. I said, why are you doing that? He said, because we depend on you because we're an accredited jail, and if we don't have somebody getting diplomas over here, they take away our accreditation. He said, for every dollar we spend on you, we're getting $3.91 back from the state because we're an accredited jail, and we need you. Sometimes God don't want you to go down a different road. He needs you to go down a different road because there's people out there down a different road that are needing you. If you think your only road is to come to this church and praise God and do work here at this church inside these walls, that's not the road God needs you going down. This is the easy road. This is the simple road. Here there's no pressure, nothing to keep you from doing it. But this is not where the fruit needs to be picked at. There's slim pickings in this church picking fruit. You know that, right? The harvest is out there. It's a harder road. 139, 1 through 10. Oh, Lord, thou hast searched me and known me. God knows you. Oh, he knows you. I'm glad you don't know me. You'd be disappointed. Anybody here have personal problems that you don't want everybody to know about, that you'd like you to admit to raise your hand? I'll raise both of them. God knows me. They'll know it's my down sitting in my uprising. He knows when I sit down and when I get out of the chair. They understand this, my thoughts are far off. He knows when I'm drifting around my head everywhere else besides where I should be. Thinking a lot about the beach right now. Yeah, even right now. I'm thinking more about sitting on the beach somewhere because we're planning a trip here in the next few months. Why? I want to escape. I want to escape all the pressure in my life. When I say all the pressure, yeah, including you. Because I feel like when I'm around people, and God's calling me to help them more and more and more. And it is pressure. Now, you say, no, it's not. If I told you God said, come up here and teach this lesson this morning, would you feel under pressure? No. Anybody ever get up here you don't feel some kind of pressure? Well, God will take care of me. Yeah, but that's not who you're depending on to start with. You're depending on you. Thou compassest my path and my lying down. He knows where I'm going when I lay down, and art acquainted with all my ways. For there is not a word in my tongue, but, lo, Lord, thou knowest altogether. It didn't say a word on your tongue. It said a word in your tongue. In your tongue says words you haven't spoken yet. He knows when you're going to complain next. It's probably going to be the next minute or two. You ever went a day without complaining? Have you ever made it through a whole day without complaining? Not to humans, to God. Christians have a bad habit of complaining. Jesus stood in front and was accused of sinning, and he spoke not a word. He had a chance to complain and spoke not a word. Give me a chance to complain. Walk up to me and say, Mark, I've heard you had a rough time today. Oh, I'm going to let you have it for the next 15 minutes, what's been going on. Tell you every little detail. Thou hast beset me behind before and laid thine hand upon me. God has his hand on me. He's standing in front of me and behind me. He has me surrounded, and there's not a person or a devil or a demon in hell can touch me without his permission. And he's already said, if I would serve him, he would walk with me for as long as I live. So such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high, I cannot attain it. I have no idea what God's got planned for me, but I want to know because I'm scared. I am scared to death every day of my life. Well, Mark, you don't act it. That's a show for you. That's a show for my wife. That's a show for my mother-in-law, my mom, my brothers, my sisters. That's a show for my grandchildren. Why? We're supposed to be an example. If you're going around telling the world how scared you are all the time and you're mouthing it every day, they see that you have no trust in God. I'm afraid I'm not going to make it. I'm afraid these bills are too much. I'm afraid my health's not going to come back. I'm afraid I just can't handle these situations. Yeah, you are afraid. But the Bible says, be not afraid. Amen. Be not afraid. Have trust in the cross and the death and risen Jesus Christ, that he can take care of you for the rest of the days of your lives. Whither shall I go from thy spirit? Whither shall I flee from thy presence? I can't get away from God. You ever tried? I have. I've hid many times. He's a great playing hide and seek. He wins every time. I've never found a place I could hide. He can't find me. I finally gave up on hiding from God. I finally just got honest and said, God, I'm not interested in you today. Just leave me alone. He'll do that too. If you're just trying to hide, he's going to find you. I love it when Bailey does this. And he thinks you can't see him. You know where we do that at in church? We do this in church. And we think God don't see us. We do it different ways. I got news for you. Usually, if God can see your problems and situations and He knows that you're hurting, the odds are He's told some other Christians you're hurting. And our problem is when they come to us, we ignore them because we think they're being busybodies, or holier than thou, or they don't understand. I love all of you. Don't even know some of you. I love you anyways. Why? Because you're just like me. You have weaknesses and faults and doubts, and you're struggling. I can't fix it, but I sure can understand it. There's a few in here I know have been struggling for a long time. How do I know? I've known you a long time. I can't fix your problems. But I promise you this. If you was carrying a 100-pound bag down that road and I seen you, if you will let me, I'll help you carry that bag as far as I can. I can't carry the bag by myself either. Your situation didn't take God by surprise. Because it caught you off guard don't mean anything. God knew it. God knew it. He ordained it, and He let it happen. Well, God don't love me then. If I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. It's easy to love God when we have a pour the water on your head service, or a service like we had last week. It's so easy to love God. Oh, God, you're my God. I'll go with you. I'll follow you wherever you send me. But as soon as one thing goes down, as soon as we feel like we're in the bed of hell, well, God, where are you at? He's still with you. God never doubts in you. You know, God has no doubt in you at all, but we doubt in God. If I take up the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even then shall thy hand lead me, and the right hand shall hold me. Peter was walking on the water. He done pretty good for the first few steps, because it said he walked on the water. Well, I would assume if I can take one step on top of the water, I can take them all. We assume because we've been Christians for a long time and we've walked on the water that we're never going under. That it's not going up to your knee, to your belly, to your neck, and up over your head. He let Peter go down in the water. Why? If you never went down in the water, you'd never realize that it wasn't you that's keeping you above the water. If you never went under, you never would understand that that right hand of Jesus Christ is always on you. If you never suffered, you'd have no use for God, no use for Jesus Christ. God knows where we've been, what we're doing now, where we're going. He knows it completely. It's not a matter of trust. How many of you ever had that little picture right there, a moment in your life? Oh my goodness! All of a sudden, something just goes so bad you can't handle it. Well, how do you handle that? And it's going to happen. I don't mean every time you stub your toe. I mean every time something happens so drastic that you have no clue how to fix it. I remember Casey being born. The whole family had one of those moments. When they rushed a newborn to Nashville in an ambulance, and you say, or told, you don't know if he's going to make it or not. That's an, oh Lord, I don't know what to do moment. When your car gets hit by another car and you got children in it, that's an, oh Lord, I don't know what to do moment. Because you don't know how bad anybody's hurt, and you don't know, you know you're okay. So what are you going to do in those moments? You going to panic? Yeah, you're human. You got to have true faith. And I'm just as guilty as the next one. When things go wrong, I turn away from God. I turn and go the opposite direction. Why? I've asked myself that a million times. Why do I turn away from God? Where am I going? I still can't figure it out. Anybody want to offer a suggestion? Why do we turn away from God? Why? What are you going to do? If you have an option that's better than God, talk to me about it. I need to hear this. Because I've made the same dumb mistake many times in my life. True faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. That's why we turn away from God. I'm looking with human eyes, human heart, human emotions, and I'm saying, God, I don't see an end to this. I don't see a solution to this. And then I got down to the job in Dunlap, and I walked into the office down there, and the lady Pat said, Mark, you need to call Kelly. Kelly's over all of us. She wants you to work 3 more hours. You know what I said? God, I'm sorry for being so doubtful. And that all happened between Monday morning and Tuesday at 12 o'clock. That was a quick fix if I want it. We always want the quick fix for every problem we got. I was angry. And you know the sad part about it? I wasn't angry over the money. I was angry because I was loyal 11 years to a company, and they'll just tell you, go bye. Goodbye. We're not worried about you. It does happen. Verse 12, wherefore, seeing we are also compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which does so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. Run with patience. When something goes wrong, we want to fix it by tomorrow. We run as hard as we can. Now, you cannot run, I don't think anybody in this building can, 5 miles at top speed. You will be dead tired half a mile. If anybody can do it, you're going to prove it to me. I don't see anybody. I don't think you can do it. You're young and slim. You'd have to pace yourself. You've got to run with patience. You've got to make sure you're not trying to do more than you're able to do. You've got to make sure that you're doing things the right way. In the right way, it says, those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. Those that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. When you don't wait upon the Lord, you're burning up all your strength, and you're going to be beat down quickly. And let us run the race with patience, the race that is set before us. There's our problem right there. We don't set the race before us. We don't pick and choose which race we're running. You have very little control in this world. Now, I'm going to say this, and I hope it don't happen, because you're going to say, Mark, you shouldn't have said it wouldn't happen. Well, I'll say it to my house. I could leave here and go home. My house is burned down. Is that true? Do I decide what goes on at my house when I'm not there? My race is not trying to make everything right, because I don't control everything. I got to trust that God. Now, I did lock my doors. You know, how easy would it be getting my house? It's 1 brick away from getting in anybody's house. How easy can God let things happen in your life? God don't cause things to happen. Now, I've lost a loved one, Mark. That's God's fault. No, that was Adam's and Eve's fault. There was no death on this earth as the man sinned. Well, I didn't sin. Yeah, you have. We all sinned and come short of the glory of God. We're the reason things happen. We had to be convinced that God is in absolute control. Keep walking towards God. Quit running away from God. Mark, I'm here every week. If you're not doing what you're supposed to do in church, you're running away from God. If you're not doing your calling, you're running away from God. If you're doing it just because you have to, you're running away from God. God will let you run away. I had a son that ran away. He was grown, but he ran away. And I couldn't stop him. God can't stop you from running away. God is more capable of managing your life than you are. Well, nobody knows what's better for me and mine than me. I watch every daddy in this church. Y'all sure do raise your kids different than I raise mine. Might be better than the way I raised mine. But I don't know your kids. Your kids sometimes look like devils and sometimes look like angels. So did mine. And God looks at us. Mark, sometimes you've done my will 100%. But Mark, sometimes you've been like a little kid throwing a temper tantrum. Unless it gets your way, you're not going to do it. I manage my life according to Mark Leonard Cunningham. I manage my affairs according to Mark Leonard Cunningham. I will never judge you how you're doing things. I have no right. You don't come to church for a month because you're mad? Okay. I've never done that, but mentally I have, not physically. Mentally, I've refused to be here and sat right back there. Mentally, I've sat right there and said, I'm here, but I ain't going to do anything. I'm not going to listen. And I'll bet you one thing, nobody can make me. And God laughs. Elan, you're such a foolish man. But then again, if you'd have told me how to discipline my children, I told you to mind your own business. So when you tell God how to deal with me, God, make them come back to church. Mark, God, make them go pray. God, straighten their lives out. He's going to tell you to mind your own business. That's not your child, that's mine. Is that a fair statement? Okay. If you want my advice, ask. I'll gladly give it. I will never force my advice on you. But when you ask me, you're going to hear the truth that I know from God as best I can tell you. I will tell you to quit being a baby. Oh, that hurts your feelings. I'll tell you, you've gone through worse, and I'll tell you to walk towards God and quit walking away from Him. We believe we had the best solutions to all our problems. I think I'm smarter than anybody in here. Disagree with me, please. Duly disagree with me. You think you're smarter? Oh, so you think you're the smartest one in here. Well, Melissa told me you're not. So Melissa must be the smartest one in here. You all think that you're smarter than every other human that's alive on this earth because you make your own decisions and you depend on what you think, what you feel, what you know, and your past decisions to do that. And we're all foolish because none of us know more than God. None of us. But we don't ask God first. I got a niece. We'll call her name Caitlin. She'll ask 50 people's opinion till she hears one that she likes to do something. If you disagree with her, she'll find somebody to tell her she's doing it right. You know we do that in God's work. I'll find some brother or sister that agrees with me, and that's who I'll listen to. 99 tell me, well, Mark, I'm not sure you should be doing that. But the one says yes, that's who I'm going to listen to. And you know who I'm going to ask the next time? The one that was agreeing with me. Quit trying to find somebody to tell you you're right or wrong. Ask God first. God don't lie to you. I'll lie to you. If you tell me, Mark, you're the smartest and best looking man in this church, I'm going to say, yeah, thank you. I'm going to agree with you. Well, I am, because I want to hear it. Isaiah 59, 8 and 9, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways. That's God's talking to you, said the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. I don't make a lot of decisions that affect other people unless I talk to God first. I make a lot of decisions that affect me that I don't talk to anybody besides even God. Because I say, that's wrong. Because I say, it only affects me. If it affects me, it's nobody else's business. And God, I'm not even sure it's your business. That's a little dangerous. Everything I do in this building this morning affects you. Because you're watching me, you're listening to me. Everybody in here has influence on everybody in here. You don't believe that? Could you do something so outrageous this morning or say something so outrageous that you hurt everybody in here? I could. I could. I could make fun of everybody in here. Barbara, I hate that blouse. Yellow's the worst color in the world on you. And I could really make you mad. That's the ugliest baby I think I've ever seen. Whoa, now I didn't say I really mean it. I didn't say I really mean it. Well, I can hurt each and every. Now, the rest of y'all went, oh, shouldn't have said that to her. You're right. I affect everybody I come in contact. And as a Christian, you're held accountable for every word and every action you do towards someone else. Just because you're mad at one person, don't mean you have the right to be mad at the world. Just because one person hurt you, you can't be ugly to everybody else. If you've got a problem with me, don't you take it out on my family. If you have a problem with me, don't you take it out on my church. If you have a problem with me, don't take it out on the world. Go to the source of me. If I request one thing first, go pray about it first. Talk to the man that made me before you come to me. Talk to the man, maybe he'll give you a little insight on that. He is God and I'm not. The real question is he your God? Is God your true God? I've heard women say, I won't come to church because my husband won't let me. I've heard men say, I'm not going to church because she's got things for me to do. If he's your true God, you've got nothing above God. Nothing. Have you ever dropped everything to do something for God? I mean everything. Lay away every weight that so easily besets you. Every weight. Have you ever missed something in your family or didn't do something because God told you to do something else? Isn't it funny how you could be fishing this morning with your buddies and still being in church this morning? And we got to make choices like that. Well, Mark, what's it got to do with making choices? If I can't make choices for God, I'm going to make choices for myself. And I'm not very good at that. God can at any time clean up your mess. Anytime. I prayed for 23 years for my relative to get out of prison. 23 years. 23 years is a long time. I knelt at that other church, and I prayed a prayer when he got sentenced. Lord, as long as you keep him safe, as long as you keep him alive, I promise you I'll do everything in my power to help. And I will be patient. We pray a lot of prayers that we regret sometimes. Lord, if you just help me through this situation, if you just straighten this out, I'll serve you. Then he straightens it out, or makes it sound better, and we forget our promise. Amen. I made a promise, let me do my math, 2025, 81, 44 years ago, to death do us part. If I can keep a promise to a human, I think I'm more beholden to God than in a human. Are we? Now, how many promises have you broke to God? I've broke way too many. Way too many. Romans 8:28. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose. Everything's working because God says it's going to work that way. Everything, God has a plan. My plans don't mean much. Before I was 30, I was going to be rich, have my own home, married, kids born. I didn't get the rich part done. Didn't own my own home at 30 either. Do you supposed to have personal plans and goals for your life? Yes, you do. But to have kids, I had to include somebody else in that plans. Did I not? To get rich, I had to include somebody else in that plan. Somebody's going to pay me to make me rich. Well, they didn't oblige. I never found that person to make me rich. So we got to depend on each other to do God's will. Whether you like it or not, you can't do God's will by yourself. A preacher is useless if there's no congregation. A leader is useless if there's no followers. A God is useless unless somebody wants God. God can't do a thing for you that you don't want. He won't do a thing for you that you won't accept, and he will not do it your way. Romans 8:29 tells us how God works. things for good in our lives. For those whom he foreknew, which means he already knew, he also predestined to become conformed to the image of his Son. Wait a minute. Conformed to the image of his Son? You mean for God can help me, I got to be like Jesus? There it is. That's our problem. The biggest problem Christians have. I'm in trouble, God. I got problems, God. It's going bad, God. So I'm going to quit on you. I give up on you, and I give up on the church. I give up on Christianity. What did Jesus do when things got hard? He kept walking closer and closer to the cross. He never walked farther away from the cross. He knew every step was taking him closer and closer to the cross. You know what Jesus did at the cross? He met God in a place where he could fix the problems of mankind. He fixed his problems as an earthly man. He fixed my problems as an earthly man. He gave me a way to fix every situation in my life. Now, Jesus became more like the Son of God. He became more like God. God tells me to fix my world, I had to become more like Jesus. And when things got hard, Jesus never ran. When they threatened to stone him, they threatened to kill him, when they whipped him with a whip, he never ran. He stood his ground and said, "Thy will be done, God. Thy will be done." Becoming more like the Son of God through our struggles. You can't get better unless you suffer. You know what? If all I'd done was laid on the couch and ate Oreo cookies and drunk Coke Zeros, what would I be like? There's no suffering there. I wouldn't live to be 30. I'd die of a heart attack, overweight. It suffers to get up and go to work. It suffers to push that food aside. It makes you suffer to give up things you want and need. But it makes you a better person. Exodus taught me that. You know when you suffer for a few moments and the suffering ends even for a split second, you appreciate that suffering stopping just for a short time. And you're thankful to God. God is incapable of misunderstanding, mismanaging mistakes. God don't make any mistakes. God don't make any mistakes. Our worst two words we can say to God is, "Why, God? Why, God? Why, God? Why, God?" Hi, good morning. You look lovely. I was talking to Stanley. Both of you look lovely. All right. Deuteronomy 32:4 says, "His works are perfect and all his ways are just." I don't know why people die. I don't know why children drowned in Texas this week, or last week. I don't understand it. I don't know how God says it's okay. But it's not my place to question God. You know, maybe he took those children out of this world because the world's going to get to a place they can't survive. Maybe he ended their suffering quickly and still letting them suffer a long time. I know if you told one of my grandkids, "We're going to torture you for a month till you die," and it sounds awful, or "We're going to kill you instantly," I would choose instantly if I couldn't stop it. If you told me I was going to be crucified and tortured for months or kill me instantly, I'd probably take instantly. God doesn't get anything wrong ever. I'm fully capable of making the same mistake over and over. I've done it before. God has never made any mistake once. Not over and over. Not even once. We've got to move on. He's already got the problem solved. I'm going to tell you how dumb I am. I bet I've spent 40 to 50 hours trying to pick out a hotel on the beach. 40 or 50 hours wasted trying to solve a stupid problem. And you know what? I already know what you see on the computer is not what you're actually going to get. Agree or disagree? It looks good there, and you get down there, and there's roaches in the place. The door don't lock. Elevator's broke. But you know what? You spend half your life trying to solve the outside problems by using outside sources. The only way to know for sure that room would be any good, that hotel room, I need to go see it myself. I need to open it before I pay for it, go through it. Now, I can even check the reviews and see what everybody else got to say. I don't believe half the reviews because everybody they put on there is usually the ones that give them good reviews. Now, what did I say all that? You can't solve outside problems by using outside sources. You got to solve all your worldly problems using inside sources. And the only person inside of you is either the devil or Jesus Christ. One of those two is inside of you. 1 Samuel 16:7. But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not unto his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. God wants to see what's in your heart. He wants to see why you want a problem fixed, what you're going to do with it, or is it a selfish reason? I'm selfish. I like money. If you don't like money, please deposit your billfold by my wife's seat, and I'll take it home with me tonight. Okay? If you don't like money, give it to me. Well, Mark, it's my money. You like money too. But you know what he said? Quit thinking that a man can fix your problems. I don't care if you can fix your problems. My problems are different. Now, you ever had anybody give you advice about everything? You say how you're going to do it, and they'll tell you there's always a better way. You never had anybody like that? No matter how you're going to do it, that's not what I would do. Well, if I could give you my problem, I'll let you fix it. But I can't give you my problem. Well, I'm going to run out of time again. A messy situation. Now, I want to finish this right here. I'm about done. If you go fishing, your tackle box gets messy, your line gets tangled up, you get hung up. I never went fishing once in my life. I didn't come back losing plugs, smelling bad, sweaty, aggravated. Either my rod and reel didn't work right, fish aren't biting, but I always go fishing again. Knowing I'm going to get, okay, going to do it again. Well, those boys, I took 20 floaters, 20 hooks. I came back with 2 floaters and 5 hooks. I did. Sometimes they had the line messed up so bad, I said, boys, I can't fix it. I got to start over. You may run into situations in your life you can't fix. It's time to start over. Now, when I started over, I get the little cutters out, and I start cutting. And I'll cut as many times as needed to get that line off that rod and reel. And you know what? The more cuts I make, it starts coming loose. Now sometimes, and I'm going to keep the floater. And I'm going to keep the hook. Because the floater and the hook is like God and Jesus Christ. I can always use them helping me fixing it back. Then I take the thread and I run it back through all the eyes and I put it back just like it was. I have a new fishing outfit set up to go again. When it gets too hard, come back to Jesus Christ up here. He'll cut all those lines that's tangled. He wants you to bring back what you know about God and Jesus, how they helped you in the past, and use them again. He's going to give you a new line. And if it gets so bad, the rod and reel's messed up, go back to Walmart and start from the very beginning again. Where was your beginning? The first time you kneeled up here and said, God, forgive me. I'm a sinner. I need a new life. You can start over at any moment in your life. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't even get that. Sorry, ladies. Well, You want some? What about you? You get me back, won't you?